So in Viveka Chudamani, the Sishya has asked the Guru 7 questions. What is Atma? What is Anatma? What is bondage? How does the bondage arise? How does it exist? How to get rid of the bondage? How to discriminate between the two? That is Atma and Anatma. These are the questions posted by the Sishya to the Guru, and the Guru has started answering these questions one by one. The Guru first said, what is Anatma? What is non self? And he then answered, what is Atma? That is, what is the real self? What is the nature of self? So, these two questions the Guru has answered. And in fact, these two questions, the entire Vedanta itself is over. What is Anatma? The entire Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Sharira, Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Prapancha, they both all are Anatma. The physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body, they all are Anatma. Then what is Atma? Atma is that thing which operates through the three bodies, which is the witness of all the three bodies. Let us assume some people are wearing a reading glass, right? They cannot see properly, so people wear reading glass. Or if you are driving in a sunny day, you want to put on some cooling glass so that the sun doesn't hit your eye directly. And what happens when the reading glass is colored, or when the reading glass has got some imperfections? So we are different, the reading glass is different, but we interact with the world through the reading glass, right? So whatever object we perceive through the reading glass, but we are not the reading glass. Problem happens when we identify ourselves with the problems of the reading glass. Say if there is a defect in the reading glass and we think that defect belongs to us. Say the reading glass has got some defect so that it distorts the image. If we think the reading glass is our own self, then we will be thinking our eyes has got some problem. But in fact, the problem lies with the cooling glass, right? If the cooling glass has got some problem, we won't be able to see the image properly. But the defect is that of the cooling glass, not that of our eyes. Our eyes is like the Atma, and the cooling glass is like the Sthula Sukshma Karana Prapancha, Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira. And we interact with this world through the Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira. The problem comes when we identify ourselves with the Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira. Okay, so that is what the Acharya is going to say. What is Atma? What is Anatma? He has already mentioned. Now he is going to answer the third question. What is the bondage? People talk about bondage. In fact, the very term mukti means freedom. Muktaha means freedom, a free person. By saying mukti and muktaha, we imply that there is a bondage. A prisoner is there and he becomes free. Means a free man, the prisoner is there and he is confined to a space, and he has got a freedom date where he goes free. So the prisoner has got two states. One, he is a bandha purushaha, meaning he is a bonded person. He is a restrained person when he is inside the jail, and he becomes a mukta purushaha when he comes out of the jail, right? So we have to understand this. A person is there. If he goes into the prison, he is called as a bandha purushaha, a baddha purushaha. He becomes restrained. And when he gets out of the prison, hopefully through a legal process, and he becomes a free man, he becomes a mukta purushaha. By Shastra, by saying mukti and mukta, does it mean that we all are in a jail and somebody has to come and bail us out? Does that what Shastra mean by saying muktaha and baddhaha? No. In our case, in the case of samsara, the bandha and the mukta, they all are notional. It is not a physical process. We have to understand that first very, very clearly, because there are a lot of I won't say okay, I won't say misrepresentation, but misunderstanding of Shastra, saying that okay, you will be a mukta purusha when you get out of this bhuloka and you go to some other loka. So that is a physical process implied. I am, when I am in this universe, I can never be a mukta purusha. I will be a bandha purusha. And when I die, my soul, like just like that graphics movies and all, my soul will slowly go to some other loka, be it a Vaikuntha or Kailasa or Goloka or Chintamani Griha, any god we say, it goes to that loka, and in that loka we become free. Just like, this prisoner becomes free by coming out of prison. So this world is prison, and when we get out of this world, we become free. Says some philosophy, but Vedanta does not accept that. According to Vedanta, the bondage and the freedom, they all are a notional one. There is no physical process involved. We say this famous story in Mahabharata. We all know about Karna, right? Who is Karna? Karna is a Kunti Putra. Like he is born, Kunti was his mother, and for some reason, Kunti deserted Karna, to be taken up. Karna was then later, taken up by a Suta. Suta means a charioteer. So Suta, Karna was, was brought up by Suta, and Karna has got this great inferiority complex that he is not a Kshatriya. In fact, Karna is a Kshatriya, but he thought that he is a Sutaputra and he is Radheya, because Karna's father was called as a Radha, and Karna thought that he was a Radheya and not a Kaunteya. Kaunteya means Kunti Putra. Karna thought that he was a Radheya and not a Kaunteya, and he developed a big inferiority complex. Only towards the end of his life, he came to know that he is a Kaunteya and not a Radheya. So his inferiority complex then goes away. What happens there? Did Karna put on a cloak that says I am not a Radheya and I am a Kaunteya? No, it is just a notional understanding that Karna, all that happened was an understanding process. It was not a physical process. Only Karna understood that his real nature is Kaunteya and not Radheya or Sutaputra. In the same way, what is bondage? Is bondage a physical thing or a notional thing? We have to understand. And Shastra says, Vedanta says, bondage is a notional thing. What is bondage? Acharya Shankara says, Atra anatmani aham iti matirbandhaha yeshosya pumsaha praptaha ajnana janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu yenaivayam vapuridam asat satyamityatma buddhya pushyat pushyat yukshatyavati vishayaihi tantubhik kosha kridvat. It is a very loaded shloka which we are going to see today. It's a very important shloka that says what is bondage. First Acharya says, Atra anatmani aham iti matihi bandaha. Bandaha is bondage. What is bondage? Anatmani aham iti matihi. Aham means I, self. Aham mati, I think myself as anatma. I am atma. I am ever present. I am a nitya vastu. I am a mukta vastu. But I misidentify myself with something which I am not. Just like how Karna misidentified himself with Radheya. He was a Kshatriya, but there was a misidentification, and Karna misidentified himself with the Radheya, the Suta. That's why he thought that he was a Suta Putra and he was not a Kshatriya. That's where all the problems happen. In the same way, Shastra says, we think we are something other than our own self. We think we are something other than our own self, external locus of identity. That's the problem. That is the bondage. What is that? Can you please explain in a layman term? Acharya says in the next line itself, Enaivayam vapur vapuhu idam asat satyam iti atma buddhya. Vapuhu means this body. This body consists of three parts: Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. When Acharya says Vapuhu, he means the combination of all three. Idam Vapuhu, Idam Asat, Vapuhu, Vapuhu, this body, it is an Asad Vastu. Satyam iti Atma Buddhya. We think this body is Satyam, and we think this Satyam body is Atma. So there are two problems in this. It can be deconstructed into two statements. The first thing, we think that we are our body. The second thing, we think that this our body is Satyam. So two problems happens. So first, then we need to know what is Satyam, what is Asatyam. Sat means, according to Shastra, independent existence is Sadvastu. Whatever objects that has got an independent existence, that is Sadvastu. And whatever the object that has got a dependent existence is asadvastu. In Vyavaharika, in our day-to-day life, the laptop in front of me, it is a sadvastu because it does not depend on me to exist, right? So even if I don't exist, this laptop is going to exist. But what about my dreams? My dreams cannot exist in my absence, right? If I have to dream, I have to be there. So my dream is asat. This laptop can be considered as sadvastu in vyavaharika level. In the same way, our body, all the sthula shariram, sukshma shariram, karana shariram, they all depend upon brahma vastu. They all depend upon Atma for existence. Just like how all the ornaments depend upon gold for existence. If you remove gold from the ornaments, nothing will remain. In the same way, all of our bodies, Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, depend upon Atma for their existence. That is why the body, the entire universe, is called as Asadvastu. They are called as Mithya. Mithya means asad vastu. They do not have independent existence. Here we have to be very, very careful. They Shastra does not say they all are non-existent. There is a difference. There is a difference between non-existent and which does not have an independent existence. The body exists, the mind exists, the laptop exists. What Shastra says is all of them has got a dependent existence. All of these depend upon Atma Vastu for their existence. So all of these are Asad Vastu, Mithya Vastu, meaning they all have dependent existence. And what is that one thing which has got independent existence? The Atma. They all depend upon Atma for their existence. But what we think is that we do not know about Atma and we consider all these Anatma Vastu as our own self. I consider this my body as my own self. That is the problem. I consider my mind as my own self. That is a problem. Why that is a problem? We will be seeing now. Because praktaha ajnanat janana marana klesha sampada hetuhu. Because of this misidentification with our body, what does it bring? It brings janana marana klesha. It brings the dukkham of birth and death, miseries of birth and death. Everybody is afraid of birth. Everybody is afraid of death. I don't know what I'm going to do after my death. Because people, we don't want to die because we don't know what is going to happen after our death. That is the prime reason why we don't want to die. If death is like going from India to USA, we don't have any problem because we have seen people from USA and we know USA is going to be like this. So people do not have any problem from going from India to USA. But people do not want to leave this body because they don't know what is going to happen to them after leaving this body. And that is the greatest of the greatest miseries, death. What is the misery with birth then? Only after birth we come to know, we are self aware, we come to know all these problems. There are some happiness in this universe, that is fine, but we take all the happiness for granted. Only we will think about all the sad things that we have. As long as all of our joints are working properly, we don't even think about kai mutti, kal mutti, etc. But the moment they start giving problems, we will start lamenting. After 50 years, all the joint, they all need oil, so it has to be serviced properly. And when they start giving problems before 50, we did not say thanks to Bhagavan. Hey, I have got good body, thank you. My blood pressure is under control, thank you. My glucose is under control, thank you. We don't say to Bhagavan. But only when they go the other way, we will start complaining to Bhagavan. Hey, Bhagavan, உனக்கு கண்ணே இல்லையா? நான் யாருக்கு என்ன பாவம் பண்ணேன்? எனக்கு ஏன் முட்டி வலி வந்தது? We say it is very, very normal because even though we have happiness in the Manushya Janma, we are too busy to enjoy those happiness. In fact, we take all those happiness for granted, and majorly we will be keep on complaining about the problems that we have. All these things, Shastra say, it is because of our identification with our body. It is because of identification with Anatma, says Shastra. In fact, any Anatma we have has got three problems, has got three doshas, as it were. The first is called as Dukkha Mishritatvam. The second is Atruptikaratvam. And the third is Bandhakatvam. What is dukkha mishritatvam? They all are always associated with the pain. First, to get that thing, and second, to maintain that thing. Let us take our body, because our body is anatma. When we are in mother's womb, our skin is not even formed properly. So if under the condition, and if we know that people who the fire, people who got that fire accident, their skin will be peeled off. They cannot, even when they touch water, it is going to be painful for them. We were like that in our mother's womb. Thankfully we forgot all those things. So we have some dukkha, we had some pain to get to this body, and after getting this body, in order to maintain this body as well, there is a lot of pain. So dukkha mishritatvam. The second problem with anatma is atripti karatvam. This is the major problem for all of us. We are not satisfied with what we are. We are not satisfied with what we have got. I only have got 1,500 square feet house, but my neighbor is building 3,000 square feet house, 2 floors. I am unsatisfied with my house. My color is this, but that person is more fair than me. I am unsatisfied with my body. My son's grades are only B and C, but my neighbor's son has got A plus in his exam. I have got I am unsatisfied. So each and everything, because of our body identification, we are unsatisfied as well. So dukkha mishritatvam, pain, it is always associated with the pain. And second is atriptikaratvam. We are not satisfied with what we have got. We always want a little bit more. I have got $1 million in my bank account. I want $1.5 million. I always want more. Atripti karatvam. And the third and most dangerous of all those things is bandhakatvam. I become addicted to it. I become so used to it. It is not a problem, but all those anatma, they do not last forever. If my body is there, there is a date of birth, but there is an expiry date as well. We all want to remember, we all want to think about the date of birth, but nobody wants to think about the expiry date, because we don't even want to entertain that thought of losing this body. This is an addiction to the body. An addiction is okay, but as long as that thing is lasting, it is fine. But nothing in this universe lasts forever. These are the three doshas. These are the three problems we will have when we identify with an anatma vastu. That anatma vastu can be anything. It can be a house, it can be a car, or it can be a gulab jamun. It can also be our own body. That is the problem. That is called as bondage. That is called as bandha, says Acharya. And he gives an example. Pushyati, ukshati, avati, vishayaistandubihi, koshakridvat. We think that our body is going to last forever. And what do? Pushyati, we nourish our body. Ukshati, we anoint our body. Avati, we want to protect our body, right? We eat a lot of stuff. Why? Because we think it is going to make us healthy, or we think our indriyas, our body, our senses want those things, so we keep on feeding our senses. But the problem is, whatever our sense want, it so happens that it is not good for our body. We want to eat fries, we want to eat ice cream, we want to eat gulab jamun a lot, but All those things that we want to eat, it is not even good for our body, but we want to satisfy our senses, thinking that our body is our own self. If we satisfy our body, we get satisfied. We all consume all those things. This is only with reference to the physical body. What happens to Sukshma Sharira? We want to satisfy our ego. That is why even a person who praises us for no reason, we develop an attachment towards that person. Oh, this person says Amanjami. This person says yes to whatever I say. So this person has to be a good person. He will be one number culprit. We won't know. But that person will say, just because that person is a big jalra, we start to like that person. Why? Because we identify ourselves with our Sukshma Sharira. We identify with our ego, we identify with our mind, we identify with our intellect, and that person satisfies my mind, intellect, and ahankara. So I like that person. Just like gulab jamun, how it satisfies my senses and it is bad for my body. In the same way, that person who puts a big jalra, he satisfies my sukshma sharira, but he is not going to help for my progress. In that process, we even lose that intellect. That's what Acharya says. We think ourselves as our body, and we keep on protecting. We keep on satisfying our body. But in the end, you know what happens? The same thing that we protect becomes the cause for our destruction. Kosha kritvat, kosha kritvat. Koshakrit, a silkworm is called as a koshakrit. Kosha means a covering. A silkworm, it makes a cocoon around itself. A silkworm, when it's growing, it makes a cocoon around itself, thinking that the cocoon is going to protect it. In nature, it will protect it. But what do? We want silk saris, we want silk veshti, the same cocoon which is meant for the protection of the silkworm becomes the cause for its destruction. People will put that in hot water in order to extract silk threads. In the same way, the same body, the same physical body, the same manas, the same indriyas which we identify ourselves with, which we think it is going to protect us, becomes the cause for our destruction. Why? Because it distracts ourselves from our goal. We want to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning because it is Margari Masam. I want to wake up 4 o'clock, Shastra says, and then say Tirupavai. But only in the Margari Masam, it is very cold outside and we want to sleep it. The same Indriya we wanted to satisfy, that instead of protecting us, it becomes the cause for our destruction. So that we have to be really, really careful. Our body is a big gift to us. We Atma, Paramatma, as Atma, say Ishvara has given us a big gift, that is our body. We have to be we have to know how to use it very, very wisely. Shastra says, Shariram Adyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. This whole body is for doing dharma. It is for attaining moksha. A cow, a crow cannot read Vedanta, it cannot attain moksha. Devas, people in Devaloka cannot get moksha. Only in Manushya Sharira, moksha is possible. There is a whole Adhikaranam in Brahma Sutra that explains why Manushya Janma is very superior to that of even Deva Janma, where Acharya says Manushya Janma is superior because you can do Vedantic studies only in Manushya Janma and you can go direct to moksha only in Manushya Janma. It is very, very hard even for Devas to do that. So we have to use our body properly. Shastra says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bhijayate Krodad Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Bhramshad Buddhinashaha Buddhinashat Pranashyati, says Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bhijayate Sangat, because of our constant identification, constant association with our body, we develop an attachment towards the body. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kamaha means attachment and an affinity towards the body. And what happens? Kamat krodho bhijayate. Because of our attachment, because of our very, very strong attachment to the body. When I say body, remember it is body, mind, intellect. Because of our attachment to the body, whoever hurts this body, we develop an anger towards them. It can be a physical hurt, or it can be a mental abuse. It can be a hurt to your body, intellect, or mind, or ahankara. We develop an anger towards the other person. Kamat krodho bijayate. If we develop only anger, that is fine. Krodad bhavati sammohaha. After krodha, without even inviting, moha comes. Moha means delusion. If you go to any jail in any country, only 10% of the inmates will be, doing planned murder, etc. But remaining 90 percentage of the murderers will do it instinctively. They were not under their control. தன் வசத்தையே இழந்து விட்டான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் in Tamil. They were not even under their control when they committed that heinous crime. Why? Because they were overpowered by anger. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Why? Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. When you get deluded, Krishna says, Smriti Vibhramaha, you will forget all the lessons that you have learned during your lifetime. Shastram will say, Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. But when I get angry, I will give 2 slaps for my kid. Because I am so angry, I forget what Shastra has said. Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha, Smriti Bramshad Buddhinashaha. When I forget what I have learned, Buddhinashaha, this everybody can understand. My buddhi becomes nashaha. My buddhi, I won't have control over my buddhi. And Krishna says, buddhi nashat pranashyati. If you cannot control your own buddhi, if you cannot control your own intellect, you are as good as a dead person, Arjuna, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And this is what happens knowingly or unknowingly to all of us when we identify with our body. If somebody in a marriage, I am sitting in a pandi and that barjaragan, that serving person did not give me extra rasam, so my relationship with the girl's father is absolutely down. Marriages have stopped in olden days because rasam was not given properly in marriages in India. All those problems comes because of physical hurt, because somebody hurt us emotionally, because somebody has hurt me at an emotional level. Somebody has told me something, so many years back. I won't even remember the words that he has said, but all I would remember that, hey, I am not going to talk with him because he told me something. I cannot remember what he told, but I am not going to talk to him. All those problems which are going to hurt our own body, the same thing which we want to protect, all those things are getting hurt because of all those unwanted feelings, Because of our misidentification with our body. So we have to be very, very, very clear what is our goal and what is the means to achieve our goal. Say if somebody wants to go to India from United States, they will take a flight. They will take an Air India flight. The flight is a means to attain a goal. The goal is India, the flight is the means. In the same way, dharma and moksha is our goal. Body is the means to attain that goal. We don't have to hate the body. Before sitting on the plane, I will pray to God that the plane should be in a very healthy condition. No nut, no bolt is missing from the plane, because if the plane is not working properly, I cannot reach my goal. But I don't have to give over importance to the plane. I don't have to be more attached to the plane. Once I get to India, I cannot say, hey, plane, I have come with you for 15 hours, so I don't want to leave you. We should not say. When the right time comes, if you have attained the goal, we have to leave the means with which we attained the goal. We have to be thankful for the plane, but we cannot go on keeping on sticking to the plane. If we keep on sticking to the plane, what's going to happen? The plane is going to come back to the USA. You will not be going to your goal. You will be back to square one. In the same way, our body is a means to attain moksha. Our body is a means to do dharma. We should give importance. We should give due importance to our body. Shastra never says do not take care of your body. Shastra never says do not take care of your mind. The whole Ayurveda Shastra, the whole Yoga Shastra, volumes and volumes have been written about Ayurveda and yoga in order to keep our body fit, in order to keep our mind fit. But we need to have this in our mind, that my body and my mind are to attain a certain goal. I cannot give in to my body. I cannot give in to my mind. When I start giving into the body and mind, those things are called as bandha. Those things are called as samsara. That is what we wanted to see today. So what is bondage? What is bandha? What is samsara? Misidentification with our body mind complex is called as bandha and samsara. And why is that a problem? Because when I misidentify with my body, when I misidentify with my mind, all those people who are hurting my body and mind, I am going to get angry at them, and that in turn is going to be bad for the very body, for the very mind that I want to protect, that I identify with. So it is like taking ourselves many steps back. So that is why we don't have to have bondage with our body. That is why we should not have a bondage with our body. That is why we need to realize our own self. With this, let us finish today's class. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम